Hi, my name is Eskil Steenberg, and I made the game Love, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a tutorial on the tech tree of Love. So I'm starting off over here, which happens to conveniently be very close to a token. So this is a token altar. You can find them all around the world, and they are a very, very important part of the beginning of the game. I'm just going to pick this one up like that, and you can now see that I have it in my inventory. So the first object you get is the monolith. So the monolith, only one player will get this, and that player will decide where we're going to put our settlement. So I can walk around a little bit here and choose a good spot, and I think generally this area seems kind of nice, and let's put it here. Okay, so I press F1 to bring up the object and place it. Boom, like that. So now we created sort of the basis for our settlement. All the other objects we're going to find, we're going to place them in this area, and we're going to build up a little sort of settlement of all our stuff. And in Love, you don't really collect things for your character, you collect things for the settlement. So the first thing we're going to need to do is to find a couple of more tokens. So night has fallen, and I found a bunch of tokens, and I'm going to find one more right here. Pick that one up, and I'm going to bring it back to my settlement. So this is kind of the first couple of tokens you get, and I'm going to show you a couple of them. So I return to my settlement, and I'm going to place this item. Let's see, there it is. So this is a token I'm going to place right there. There we go. So we're going to look around at some of the things that we've gotten here. The first thing we'll notice is this map. So the map is not very useful right now because we're not playing with AI. If you're playing on a server with artificial intelligence, then this map will be full of their settlements and what they're doing, and it's a really, really important part of the game. But we're going to skip that since we're all about the tech tree. So the next thing you'll find is this item. This is the rally point, and it's also a very, very important item because you can place it in your settlement by clicking on it. And when I activate it somewhere, let's move over here and activate it, I create this big bright thing. So this is a rally point. So now if I go back to my settlement, I can jump into this thing and boom, I rally back to this rally point. So it's a really, really useful way to get everybody gathered to go attack a settlement or something like that. Only players who are supporting players can place these rally points. Everybody can use them, but not everybody can place them. And the reason for that is that I don't want sort of newbie players to accidentally move them or something like that, because the position of this can be quite important. Here's a few other objects that are very important. These are our edit tools. So if I choose one of these and put it in my inventory, I can now walk up to the ground and just start building. This is a very, very powerful building system. So you can, deck out your settlement any way you want. You can build caves. You can build whatever you want. So that's another really important one. Here's another one that I feel is kind of important, and that's the move tool. So let's say you placed all these objects. When you get more and more objects, you're going to want to be able to move them. So this is another object that only supporting players can use. And the reason for that is just because it can get very confusing if people keep moving stuff around. So you basically just walk up to something and push it around like I just did. So these are kind of the basic tokens you get. But let's look at the more complicated ones. So these two objects you see right here, they are upgradable tokens. You can see they have a wire on them and they have text. So if I now throw a piece of matter inside of this, it will actually produce something. So matter is sort of the basic matter systems that you have in the game, and there's 6 different types of them. And it happens that I have a bunch of flowers with me. So I'm going to select those, and I'm going to throw them at this upgradable token. So when I do that, it starts outputting stuff. See, there we go. So now I got an object here. So this happens to be a stomper. No, it's a force field. So it's a really cool thing we can use for lots of stuff. So I'm going to place that over here. So basically, you get these really basic tokens, and then you have to find these matters to throw into them to create all the rest of the things you're going to need. So while this could be called like the tier 1 stuff you want, the tier 2 is everything you get out of these two. There's actually a few more of them. So I can pick out all of these and place them. Let's place one over here, and let's place one over here. So what do these things do? Well, the thing I happen to have right now is a force field. So I can activate it, and you can see that force fields by default are sucking in matter. So since we're in a field, you can see that there's flowers gathering. So it basically sucks up flowers. So flowers only grow in that tall grass. So now we sort of create a little machine that connects flowers for us. So next we're going to do some a little bit more complicated things. Well, it's really useful to suck in matter this way. It can be really annoying to pick it up afterwards, and therefore I'm going to show you something else. So now take my power source and I connected it to this thing. So this is a manufacturer of cable relays. So these cable relays I can pick up and I can place anywhere I want. They look like this. So I'm going to put one right next to this thing that collects like that. And now I can direct this over, say, there. So now it created a cable wire that goes between these two. If I actually jump up on this, I can ride it myself. But normally I could go to another cable wire, but instead I put it onto this thing. So this object is actually a collector that it's an empty deposit. So we haven't deposited anything in it. And I can deposit things just by throwing them at them. So I can throw a pot here, boom, and now it's filled up with just a little bit of flour. But I want to fill it with lots and lots and lots of flour. So I'm going to head back here, and I'm going to turn this power source to go towards this collector. So now it starts sucking in all the flowers in the area, and the flowers, you can see they ride over and end up in the collector. So that's a really nice way of starting to manufacture a system that automatically collects stuff for you. So let's have a look at the different matter types that you can collect. I've already shown you how to find flowers. Now let's see how we can get the other matter types. So the first and most obvious one is this one. It's called minerals. And all you have to do to collect it is walk up to it and click on it, and you will start mining it. You can also do this automatically by putting the same kind of collector as we used for collecting the flowers. To get some of the other ones, you need to do a little bit more work. I'm going to throw these away to just give me some space. And here I have a manufacturer that manufactures empty pods. So empty pods doesn't do anything themselves, but they're used to collect certain types of matter. So I'm going to grab a bunch of those. And over here, we happen to have a gas field. You can see that it's a purple gas. It's more visible in the daytime. So these you will find probably only around the purple AI, because they kind of dig out the ground and find these gas repositories. So all you have to do now is take your empty pods and throw them into the area of the gas, and pretty soon they will fill up with gas. So you can see now they've all filled up with gas, and now I have a bunch of gas containers. Another way of doing using empty pods is to, I'm going to throw these away, grab a couple of new ones, like that, and then I'm going to head over here where we have some water. So now basically you can just throw them into the water and jump after. And now you can see they're all filled up with water. So that's how we get water pods. Water pods are especially important because if the AI sets anything on fire in your settlement, just throw the water pods on it to put it out. So that's kind of your fire safety equipment that you're probably going to need. Now the AI usually lets you harvest all these for free, but you might have some problems with certain ones. If a settlement an AI settlement is dominating the world, they get very, mad about keeping all the matter for themselves. So then you might have to actually fight them to be able to harvest it. And they may actually show up and disrupt everything. Now, as you might figure, it's not so much fun to run around and doing this by hand. You can build everything to be fully automatic by basically building cable relays that, move the empty pods into the gas field and moves them out of the gas field and back to your base and puts them in a deposit and all that stuff. You can really work really hard to make it all automated. And you're going to need that because in the beginning you'll need very few of these. But in the end, when you get to the really high tier stuff, you're going to need a lot of matter. So let's take a look at how to do that. To get the third tier of items, you really have to work hard. Now we're really close to the red settlement, and around the red settlement you'll find these objects. These are melders, but they're trapped. And in order to release them so that you can grab them and put in your settlement, you need to power them. The problem is, as soon as you start powering them, the red people will come and they will try to attack you and even destroy it. So before you attempt to do this, you better get ready with water so you can put out fires and lots of weapons and things like that. So let's see what happens now. Here we go. They start firing at me. So very quickly this will turn really, really difficult. So you usually want to be multiple players trying together to defend this while it's powering up. And you can see it's powering up really slow, and they're coming from all directions, so you really have to be ready. So once you've gotten the melder, you can pick it up, put it in your settlement wherever you want. So now you can see the meters down here for the different materials. You're just going to take a lot of matter to fill this up. And you need to fill up with 3 different matter types. And the combination of those is going to tell you what's going to happen. If you press the tab menu, you can get a little cheat sheet that tells you what the different matter mixes will do. So to prepare, I actually created one over here, and I powered it. So once it's done, it will turn into this item, and it will be able to manufacture things. So I put some power in it, and now we're manufacturing these pods. So these happens to be bounce pods, which are one of the most fun pods. So I can basically just throw those on the ground, and it starts bouncing, and I can now jump into it and jump really, really high. So there's 20 different types of them, and they all do different things. Another really fun thing you can do with this is, you see these collectors that I used. I can now take my bounce pods, and you can see that they have a hole that is sort of pod shaped. So I can throw one at it like that, and now it turns into a bounce field. So let's head over here and power it. Let's see what happens. Like that. So now you can see we get a bounce field. So everything within this field can now jump really high. And every type of pod you can build, you can power a field with. And you can actually do a bunch of other things with the pods that are really fun. But I'll let you explore that. So this should give you a little bit of a head start on how the tech tree works. Good luck!